staring into the hollow ache of a bank account that should feel like abundance but instead echoes with an unshakable void. What if the money you chase, the wealth you hoard, is not the treasure? You seek but a shadow cast by something deeper, something you've buried in the unseen corners of your soul. Carl Jung, the architect of the psyche's hidden maps, knew that true wealth lies not in gold, but in the unclaimed fragments of your inner world. This is not about budgets or investments. It's about the secret wound that keeps you tethered to a life of quiet desperation, no matter how many zeros line your accounts. The world screams that money is freedom, that a bigger house or a shinier car will fill the gnawing emptiness inside. But Jung would turn his piercing gaze on this lie, unraveling its threads to reveal a truth most dare not face. Financial emptiness is not a failure of strategy, but a symptom of a soul out of alignment. You've been taught to measure your worth in numbers, to chase a mirage that vanishes the moment you grasp it. Yet what if the real cost of this pursuit is the loss of something infinitely more precious, something you didn't even know you'd forgotten? The question lingers like a whisper in the dark. What is it that you're truly missing? Jung's wisdom cuts like a blade through the illusions we cling to, exposing the archetypes that dance beneath our conscious choices. He saw money not as a goal but as a symbol, a mirror reflecting the unresolved conflicts within your psyche. Every dollar you chase, every debt you fear, is a thread in a tapestry woven by your unconscious, pulling you toward a confrontation with truths you've long avoided. What if your financial struggles are not accidents but invitations, calling you to descend into the labyrinth of your own being? The answer lies not in what you earn, but in what you refuse to see. This is not a journey for the faint of heart, for Jung's path demands that you face the shadows you've spent a lifetime ignoring. What you'll discover in this video is not a quick fix or a formula, but a revelation that could shift the very foundation of how you see yourself and your wealth. The clock is ticking. Every moment you delay is another step away from the truth. That could set you free. Stay with me, because by the end you'll understand why financial emptiness is the psyche's cry for something far greater than money, and why most people will never uncover it. What is it that stirs in the quiet of your nights, when the world falls silent and the weight of your choices presses against your chest? You've built a life brick by brick, chasing the promise of wealth, yet the hollowness persists, a shadow that no paycheck can banish. Carl Jung would say this is no accident, but a summons from the depths of your psyche, where the soul whispers truths you've learned to ignore. The money you seek is not the answer. It's a mask, a distraction from the real wound bleeding beneath the surface. Have you ever wondered what you're truly running from? The world hands you a script. Work harder, earn more, and happiness will follow. But Jung saw through this collective delusion, this myth that chains you to a treadmill of endless striving. The ache you feel isn't about numbers in a bank. It's the cry of an inner world left unexplored, a landscape of dreams and fears you've buried under the weight of routine. Every purchase, every debt, every fleeting thrill of acquisition is a thread in a story you didn't write. What if the life you're living is a lie you've been sold? What if the emptiness is not a flaw, but a map? Jung taught us that the psyche speaks in symbols, and money is one of its loudest voices. It's not just currency, it's a mirror reflecting the archetypes that govern your unconscious. The hero in you seeks triumph, the shadow fears failure, and the self yearns for wholeness, yet you chase coins instead of confronting these forces. Each financial struggle is a riddle, each moment of lack a question. What have you exiled within yourself to feel so incomplete? The answer lies not in what you can buy, but in what you've refused to face. You stand at a crossroads where the path of the known, bills, budgets, and borrowed dreams, meets the uncharted terrain of your soul. Jung would urge you to pause, to listen to the silent currents beneath your anxiety. That knot in your stomach when the bills arrive, that flicker of envy at another's success, those are not weaknesses but signals pointing to a truth you've buried. Can you feel it now? The pull of something greater, something that no amount of money can touch. The emptiness is not your enemy, it's your guide. This journey is not about fixing your finances, but about dismantling the illusions that keep you small. Jung's wisdom reveals that true wealth is not amassed, it's uncovered layer by layer in the confrontation with your own depths. What would happen if you stopped running, if you turned to face the shadow that haunts your every step? The E. Question burns and the answer waits, not in the world outside but in the one within. The world outside is a cacophony of voices, shouting that more is better, that success is measured in what you can hold. But Jung would turn his gaze inward, to the quiet spaces where the soul speaks in whispers and dreams. Financial emptiness is not a problem to be solved, it's a wound to be understood, a fracture in the psyche that begs for integration. Have you ever noticed how the things you buy lose their shine the moment they're yours? That fleeting rush, that hollow victory. What is it you're really chasing? Your bank account is a ledger, but not of money, of choices, of fears, of unspoken desires. Jung saw the unconscious as a vast ocean, and every financial decision is a wave breaking on its surface, carrying messages from the deep. The panic of not having enough, the shame of falling short. These are not just feelings but archetypes at play, ancient patterns pulling you toward a reckoning. What if your struggle with money is not about money at all? What if it's a call to awaken? The collective myth tells you to climb higher, to outrun the void with effort and ambition. Yet Jung would ask you to descend, to walk willingly into the darkness where your true wealth lies hidden. The emptiness you feel is a doorway, not a dead end, a portal to the parts of yourself you've locked away. Every time you've said, "I can't afford it," what were you really saying? Every time you've envied another's fortune, what were you really mourning? This is the paradox Jung unveils. To be rich, you must first face your poverty, not of the wallet, but of the soul. The world will tempt you to look outward, to fill the void with things that glitter and fade, but the psyche demands more. It demands courage. It demands truth. Can you hear it now? The faint pulse of something forgotten, stirring beneath your daily grind. It's not money you lack, it's meaning. The path forward is not a straight line but a spiral, drawing you deeper with every step. Jung's map of the psyche is not a guide to comfort, but to transformation, where every fear you face becomes a key to a door you didn't know existed. What would it mean to live a life where money serves you, not masters you? What would it mean to claim the wealth that no market can measure? The emptiness you feel is not a curse. It's a signal, a beacon from the unconscious urging you to look closer. Jung believed that the psyche is always working, always weaving meaning from the chaos of life. Your financial struggles are not random, they're stories, written in the language of archetypes waiting for you to read them. The late-night worries, the dreams of someday wealth, what are they trying to tell you? What truth have you buried beneath the weight of your daily hustle? The world sells you a vision of abundance that leaves you starving. Jung would call this the shadow's trick, a projection of your unclaimed power onto things that cannot hold. Every time you feel less than enough, every time you measure yourself against another's success, you're caught in a dance with your own unconscious. The money you chase is a symbol, a stand-in for the wholeness you've yet to embrace. What would happen if you stopped chasing and started listening? This is not about escaping the material world, but about seeing it clearly, through the lens of the soul. Jung's genius was to show us that nothing is what it seems, that every struggle is a mirror, every lack a lesson. Your financial emptiness is not a failure. It's a question etched in the language of loss and longing. Can you feel the weight of it now? The pull of something deeper, something that no bank can hold. The journey Jung invites you to is not one of answers, but of questions that burn. Each step toward understanding your emptiness is a step toward reclaiming your power, not over money but over yourself. What have you sacrificed to fit into the world's definition of wealth? What have you silenced within you to keep the illusion alive? The answers are not out there, they're inside, waiting in the shadows you've yet to face, where the choice becomes unavoidable. Jung's wisdom is not a comfort, it's a challenge, a call to dive into the depths where your true wealth lies buried. Will you keep running, or will you turn to meet the truth that's been waiting all along? The psyche is a labyrinth, and money is one of its trickiest illusions. Jung would tell you that every dollar you chase is a thread tied to an archetype, a hero seeking glory, a trickster dodging pain, a sage whispering truths you're not ready to hear. Your financial life is not a balance sheet, it's a story, written in the ink of your deepest fears and desires. What role have you been playing in this story? What role have you refused to play? The emptiness you feel is not a void but a vessel, holding the parts of yourself you've yet to claim. Jung's alchemy was to turn suffering into meaning, to see every struggle as a step toward wholeness. Your financial worries are not obstacles, they're invitations, pulling you toward a confrontation with the self you've kept at bay. What would it mean to stop measuring your worth by what you own? What would it mean to measure it by what you are? The world will tell you to fix your finances with discipline and hustle, but Jung would urge you to fix your soul with courage and curiosity. The emptiness you feel is not a lack of money, it's a lack of connection, a fracture between the self you show and the self you hide. Every bill, every debt, every fleeting moment of financial relief is a clue pointing to the deeper work of integration. Can you see it now, the pattern beneath the chaos? This journey is not about finding wealth, but about becoming it, becoming whole, becoming true. Jung's path is not for those who seek easy answers, but for those who dare to ask hard questions. What have you lost in the pursuit of money? What have you gained in the pursuit of yourself? The answers are closer than you think, hidden in the silence you've been too afraid to hear. The spiral is tightening now, pulling you toward a truth that cannot be ignored. Jung's wisdom is a flame, burning away the illusions that keep you small. Your financial emptiness is not the end of the story. It's the beginning, the first step into a world where wealth is not counted, but felt, not earned, but uncovered. Are you ready to take that step? The emptiness you felt, that shadow cast across your days, is not a wound to be feared, but a whisper from the unseen, calling you to remember who you are. Carl Jung's map of the psyche is no mere theory. It's a mirror, reflecting the fragments of yourself you've scattered in the pursuit of what shines but does not last. The wealth you seek is not a number, but a reunion, a gathering of the lost pieces of your soul into a whole that no market can measure. Have you ever paused long enough to hear the quiet pulse of your own becoming? This is the moment where the spiral of your story turns inward, toward a truth that waits in the stillness. What if the ache of financial lack is not a curse, but a key, a signal from the depths that you are more than the sum of your possessions? Jung would stand at the edge of your consciousness, pointing to the labyrinth where your true riches lie buried, not in gold, but in meaning, not in having, but in being. The world will tempt you to keep running, to fill the void with fleeting distractions, but the psyche demands a braver choice, to turn, to face the shadow, to claim the light hidden within it. Can you feel it now, the faint tremor of something awakening, something that knows no price? You are not empty. You are a vessel waiting to be filled with the truth of your own existence. This is not the end, but a threshold, a doorway carved by questions that refuse to be silenced. Jung's wisdom is a flame that burns away the illusions, leaving only the raw, radiant essence of who you might become. The coins you chase, the fears you carry, they are but threads in a tapestry woven by your unconscious, each one a clue to a greater story. What would it mean to step into that story? To live not as a stranger to yourself, but as a pilgrim on a path of wholeness? The answer lies not in what you can hold, but in what you dare to see. And so, I leave you with this. The wealth of the soul is not found, it is forged in the quiet moments when you choose to listen to the whispers beneath the noise. If this journey has stirred something within you, if it has sparked a question that burns in the silence, then let it live on. Through a like, a comment, a share, or by joining this channel to walk further into the mysteries of your own psyche. Step forward not because you must, but because you are called, because the truth once glimpsed will not let you turn away.